Yeah, hey guys. So today we're going to look at launching a directory we're going to begin with the win and start at the end, and then we're going to reverse engineer the process this is a hyper-local example. Um, Again, this is actually coming from my notes. You'll see a lot of spelling mistakes. This is for a book that I had written about a month ago. All right, so again, this is the simplest local approach that I know for really kind of getting started very quickly. All right, so the win is you have a directory, a monetization model, and a strategy to scale. All right, so that's what I'm trying to deliver for those who are actually reading this book, or in your case, watching this video. So, step one, you're going to register a new domain and build a hyper local directory. All right, so it could be explore the shore. It could be you know covering Chicago, whatever the domain is. I'm just not going to creatively come up with some good ones here, but whatever the local marketplace that you are competing in, you want the domain obviously to have that city, town, state. State is less beneficial to me. City or town is where you want to really focus. All right, so that's step one. Get a local directory uh, with a local geography in the actual domain name. Step two, you're going to target one specific niche, market, or audience to start. This is either listings or offers. So if I'm building a local directory in a given city, you don't necessarily want to make that just like niche specific or industry specific. You kind of want that to be like all the businesses. You can do it the other way if you want to just make restaurants in Chicago or Mexican places in Michigan or whatever. That's fine. That's not generally the approach that I use. But you want to start by both populating a specific type of niche, and the reason you do that, not only from an ease perspective, but also from an offer perspective. So you want to know what people in a given niche or audience will buy, will pay money for, and what you can offer them as an agency. Because really, this entire process at the end is predicated on building an agency. So you want to be able to, if you're targeting Mexican restaurants, for an example, you want to have a bunch of Mexican restaurants to start on your directory when you start to invite others to participate. But you also want to have specific offers tailored to or tailored for that are uniquely suited for Mexican restaurants. That might be a website that you've already built or several websites, and I'll get to that below. All right, so step three, populate manually 20 listings from that niche market or audience. Important note, and this again is just a psychological trigger, include the best looking examples of this population on the site. So you want responsive websites, good aesthetics, brand recognition in local market, etc. What that means is if you're going to, again, and I'm just pulling this out of thin air, but targeting Mexican restaurants in Michigan or Miami, let's say. I don't like states, I like cities. So let's say, Mexican restaurants in Miami, and you're going to pre-populate the site. You want to carefully curate the best looking and the best and the Mexican places that have the best brand recognition. Because when you reach out to other Mexican spots that aren't added by yourself, that aren't manually populated, you want to be able to have them look and see the other spots and be like, shit, I need to be on this site. Look at, Manny's Mexican is featured, and Mo's Mexican is also featured. I need my business to be featured as well. Now we're going to cover this a little bit below also, but my strategy for doing that is featuring or creating a our choice, top choice, reader's choice category, and then putting the places that are the best known and have the best looking designs. That's also important. Best branding, online branding. So, so what happens through that process is the people will check out, like the lesser well-known spots will look at that your choice, top choice category, and they'll see these sites that have really good online aesthetics or branding, and they'll realize immediately that they are lacking in that area. So you're actually creating a buying criteria, or you're creating a market sort of, um, you know, um, what's the right word I'm looking for? An expectation in the marketplace that a site that is well known should look like X, or a site that is worthy of being a top choice should look like X. So the business that doesn't have a good looking website recognizes immediately that their site, it doesn't look like X. So they understand intuitively, without you even having to push, that they could do better. And that's where your job as an agency comes in, to fill that need. So step 3A, you want to seed those listings with social media embedded content. So, paste their most popular Facebook, Twitter, Instagram uh, posts in the content box where their about would be, where their profile would be. Custom FB, which it might be called Custom Facebook. It's a free plugin that is really good for this, because you could just paste a short code into the listing and then populate like 5 or 7 recent Facebook updates. And it just makes their listing look a lot more robust, and you don't have to like copy and paste their menu or their about page or their bio or whatever it may be, which is really, there's problems with that. It's duplicate content for one. It just makes it a very sort of bovine experience for your audience. You're basically just recapitulating content that's published elsewhere, and it just doesn't give your site any unique value. So the custom FB, I might be called custom Facebook. I don't know why I'm calling it custom FB. Maybe it is called that. I've used on some recent projects. There's a free version and a paid version. I use the free version, which works wonderfully well. You just paste that, and it auto updates all of your members' on their profile itself. They're going to have an auto updating Facebook feed that is really valuable to them. It's really valuable for you. There's some SEO benefits to that as well. And it's also really valuable to your audience. So, because it's always current. All right. I think I covered this above. Yeah, make some of these featured. Make some of the initial listings featured. And again, someone said to me last week, that's not ethical to make it appear like people are paying for offers on your site. I've never had somebody complain when you've made their business a featured choice on a directory that has a fee attached to it and you didn't charge them anything. So I think that's sort of a specious complaint or criticism. I've never had someone say to me, hey, I noticed my restaurant on your directory, and you have me listed as a top choice. Now I know you didn't charge me anything, but I do see that's a $50 charge per month on your site. Who can I complain to about that? It just doesn't happen in the real world. So don't worry about that. I think it's ethical if someone complains, you remove it. It's just not an issue to me. The other thing I'm going to point out, right here before we continue, is some people have asked me about, adding businesses manually, if that's kosher to do. The truth is, of course it is. Any business that's in the public doing work, charging fees, or, offering services, or a restaurant, obviously is subject to public review. People have the right to express their experiences with various businesses in any community, whether you're a psychic medium, which I've had, I have those communities. I've had people say, I don't want to be listed on your site. And the answer to that is, if you're in the public offering services, and people, can come into your business and have a bad experience, there is a legal, I mean, there's no legal room for you to say they folks can't publish those experiences. That's just not how the world works in 2017. So Yelp, for an example, has been sued a couple times, I believe, and has won on the merits of that basis. I mean, if I'm doing work as if Ian is a massage therapist, which I'm not, but if I was, and and somebody had came in and had a massage with me and said it was terrible, he acted inappropriately, he smelled badly, and he overcharged me. Guess what? That deserves to be in the public domain, as far as I'm concerned. Equally as important, if they had a good experience with me, that deserves to be in the public domain so that other folks can experience what a good massage is like. Again, I don't do massages, I'm just throwing out a bad example. All right, so don't worry about that. People are worried about adding things manually, and or adding businesses that don't want to be added. I don't think that's a valid, if they're doing business and you want to add them on your site, there's no legal thing to worry about on your side. All right, actually, I'm going to stop this and we're going to continue. I don't want to make these videos too long, and this one feels like it's probably pushing too long already. So we'll start here when we continue. All right, thanks.